COVID-19 pandemic has positive and negative impacts on different aspects of lifestyle behaviors. Negative lifestyle behaviors are associated with an increased risk of adverse outcomes from COVID-19. While dealing with COVID, we overlook the fact that people's lifestyles were severely disrupted. Many people have become physically inactive and developed irregular eating patterns, which leads to unhealthier lifestyles and aggravation of lifestyle-related diseases. COVID-19 pandemic has also caused significant changes to homes, working life and stress. A multi-sectoral approach promoting healthier diets and increasing physical activity can help in slowing down the diabetic epidemic and heart diseases. Be it diabetes, myths and facts will impact and help a large number of people to prevent or control metabolic disorders. Today we have with us experts to share with you advice on leading a healthy life. Dr. Pramod Agarwal, MD, General Medicine, Fellowship in Diabetology, Diabetologist, Agarwal Diabetes Center, Behrampur. Dr. Agarwal, it has been observed that healthy people with no previous history of diabetes are also developing high blood glucose levels after recovering from COVID-19 infection. Is it temporary? Do they need to take any sort of medicine or insulin?
Thank you very much for inviting me to your program. I think your question is having three parts. Number one is whether people are developing diabetes after COVID.
Yes.
Second is whether it is temporary, and third is whether they require insulin. So let me tell you that during COVID is an inflammatory disease, and some people are undiagnosed with diabetes, and when they go to the hospital they are detected for the first time. Number two, they may be pre-diabetic and develop florid diabetes during the course of the COVID disease in the hospital. Third is because of stress and because of use of certain drugs like steroids during the management of COVID, they may develop diabetes. And so diabetes may not be new to them. They might be having, and it has become manifested during COVID times. Number one. Number two, whether it's temporary. Diabetes management actually rests on three parts: a good knowledge of the disease, balanced diet, and regular exercise, and if required, medicines or insulin. So if they are having early diabetes, they are not having very high average blood sugar, HbA1c, then with a balanced diet and regular exercise, if they are able to maintain the blood sugars, they can stop their medicines. Okay. And regarding insulin, during treatment of COVID, insulin is the drug which is given in the hospital for a better management of diabetes and to prevent a diabetic ketoacidosis. So in long run, they can stop taking insulin and convert it to tablets under the guidance of a physician and a diabetologist.
Agarwal, people who have been recently diagnosed with diabetes or pre-diabetes hope to stop medications in future by making suitable lifestyle changes. Is diabetes reversible, or do people have to take medications lifelong? Because there is a lot of confusion on this.
There's a very common question. Whenever we see new patients, that's the first thing they ask: Doctor, when should I stop taking medicine, or when can I stop taking medicines? But diabetes is a disease of complications. There may be acute complications if diabetes is uncontrolled, and there may be chronic complications like blindness, cardiac stroke, brain stroke, then kidney failure and amputation of legs. So the first and foremost aim should be to control the blood sugars. So we need not worry about stopping the medicine, but everyone is really worried when to stop the medicines. So if there is early diabetes, or if the HbA1c is not very high, if the blood sugars are not very high, then with the diet modifications, with regular exercise, having a good knowledge of diabetes and medicines, first you need to bring down the blood sugars to normal. Once the blood sugars are normal, then the physician decides whether we should reduce the doses or not. So according to the physician's discretion, the medicines will be reduced. If not, they will be maintained like that, the blood sugar maintained. But a patient is having very high blood sugars like 300, 400 with a A1C of more than 9, then they cannot stop, they cannot think of stopping medicines because they will land into complications. So from day one, all patients need to control their blood sugars, and that should be the aim. The aim should not be to stop medicines, when to stop medicines. And regarding reversibility of diabetes, yes, some claim that diabetes is reversible, but actually diabetes is not reversible. It is, it can be postponed, it can be delayed, it can be controlled, it can be prevented, but it is not reversible. To preventable diabetes, or diabetes can be delayed. People say that it's reversible. Actually, it is not reversible.
So I think that's a very important point.
Diabetes, it would be wrong.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you. Because Dr. Agarwal, the adoption and maintenance of physical activity are critical for blood glucose management and overall health in individuals with diabetes. But people on insulin therapy are confused about time and amount of exercise they should do. Please guide them about the same.
Definitely, exercise is an integral part of the management of diabetes, along with the balanced diet and good knowledge of the disease and medicines or insulin as advised by the physician, or medicine plus insulin. But those patients who are on insulin are at a greater risk of developing hypoglycemia or low blood sugars. When the patient will have features of sweating and then confusion and head reeling, and then suddenly they may collapse. So to prevent all these things, first of all, you need to take permission of your physician as to can we do exercise and how much exercise we can do and which type of exercise we can do. Usually patients on insulin are more chronic patients and the patients with complications who are put on insulin, or those who really require insulin, that is insulin dependent diabetes, they really require insulin for survival. So these patients, if they have complications, they should discuss with the physician, because exercises are of different types. One is non-weight bearing exercises like swimming and cycling, and then normal walking. This can be done by patients who are taking on insulin, but it should not go into hypoglycemia. Their blood sugar should be well maintained. Only then they should go for exercise. And those who are doing weight bearing exercises like jogging and skipping and brisk walking, they can continue that. But those who are on insulin, they should be very careful and prevent hypoglycemia. And above all, they should carry around 15 grams of glucose, or there are nowadays glucose tablets are also available in the market. They should carry them with them during their walking and during their exercise, so that if at all they have features of hypoglycemia, they can take them. This was regarding low blood sugar, but those who are having very high blood sugar also, they should not go for exercise without taking the permission of the physician, because complications may increase, they may exaggerate, like retinopathy or nephropathy, they may increase in a diabetic patient or on insulin. So they should be very careful before doing exercise.
Thank you so much, doctors, for joining us today. So it's important that we learn how to manage diabetes well. Of course, having knowledge, awareness on what to do, whether it's exercising, eating the right kinds of food and lifestyle changes is the key here. Thank you all so much for watching.